Good evening, friends.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
This is a special holiday edition uh, that I didn't have planned. And all of a sudden, it kind of happened when I was doing my reading this morning that I was like, oh, we need to do this. And so I reached out to Joan and to Terry, and they were kind enough, last minute notice, to agree to come here. And so, what we're going to be doing is some mediumship and some card readings. Messages from people that you want to hear from. And so throw your questions up in the chat. Make sure you put them in capitals and maybe an emoji or something. Let's say hello to Joan and to Terry and thank them for being here. And we're going to go through the chat and just say hi to a couple of folks. We have Bora Bora in the house, and Miriam is here. Lisa's here. Pierrot White is in the house. Oh, hi, Ben. You're so sweet. All the way from England. Thank you for being here, my friend. Hello, Lisa. Thank you, everyone, for coming and hanging out with us. So, how are you ladies doing?
I'm doing great on this solstice evening.
Excellent.
Yes. Isn't it cool that it's the solstice already?
Yeah.
Right. I was on a with Longman Tarot and Tarot Stash earlier today, and we were doing some solstice readings, and it is a really neat when you don't, like, if you don't know about it, if you don't understand it, if you don't really, you've heard it but you're not really familiar with it, it is a really lovely I want to say celebration. That's the word I'm going to use. It's a really lovely celebration when you get into the thick of all of the background of it and all the history of it. It's wonderful. So happy solstice to everyone who's celebrating solstice.
Yes. Today I made, because it's so cold here, I've been making ice lanterns, and I just lit up 6 of them. It's snowing outside, and I can't wait to go out and maybe take a picture and post it.
Yeah. Speaking of snow, go ahead, Joe.
And Terry and I might want to say hi to our friend Elizabeth, whose birthday is today on the solstice.
Nice.
Yep. Happy birthday, Elizabeth.
Yes. And wouldn't that be cool to have your birthday on solstice? And always
This is my backyard right now.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's so pretty.
Yeah.
So I know all about the snow.
Yep.
Yeah, we have a lot of snow here. It's been snowing for a couple days. Not, it's the Pacific Northwest, so it's not like we got even a foot of snow, but at least it's white and pretty right now.
Yeah. We're getting that same storm, and they're expecting 50 centimeters of snow. So the easy conversion for people that don't know centimeters, it's about 2.5 inches to every centimeter. So basically you take 50 and you cut it in half, and that's 25, and that's just like too much snow is what that is. Yeah. So yay. We're all excited.
How about you, Joan? Do you have snow?
Oh, yes. We're going to get about 10 inches or so. And then, but it's really light. So then the 40-mile-an-hour winds come in. So the next couple of days after that, there'll be a lot of blowing and drifting. But it was crazy at the grocery stores yesterday. I was sitting at myself and my elderly relatives so that we can, make it through until until things are cleared. And so it's,
Yeah, this storm is nasty. They're saying that, flash freezing, and because it's supposed to be fairly mild, and then the temperatures are going to drop considerably, and then the rain, and then the snow, and then the wind, and so they're telling people, like, don't travel, and it's going to be a show. But the good news is some of your favorite readers are here on YouTube.
Yeah.
Entertain you if you cannot get out to family and friends, or if you don't celebrate, or if you are, stuck at home because of other reasons. Yours truly will be on YouTube. I actually made a commercial and I forgot to download it. So there you go. But anyways, that's a whole other story. I feel totally discombobulated because I'm not normally on here at this time. And it's like all of a sudden I don't know what I'm doing. But anywho. So let's say hi to Lizzie, all the way here from Mexico, and it's 81 degrees there.
Wow.
Let's tune into that energy. That's Ben said that it snowed in the UK last week, but it's melted now. So that's interesting. So if anyone has a question, pop it in the chat. We will do our best to answer your questions. Now, Terry, you said you had something that you wanted to ask us.
I do. I was wondering, when I was meditating, getting ready for this show, my guides just suddenly said to me, ask Kelly and Joan what their favorite holiday memories are. What is your favorite Christmas or holiday memory?
You go first, Joan, if you want.
Well, I don't know if I can pick just one, but one that comes to mind was when my son was about 3 or 4, and just totally into the Santa thing and everything. And I had made him like a little nightshirt with red and white stripes and the little hat and everything, so he looked like a little elf. And he came downstairs, and his big present was just a big teddy bear that was about as big as him. And he went running for it. And I'll just always remember that he was so thrilled. And it was just, so cute. So that was great. And another one was, gosh, I think it was the year before my husband and I were married, and I'm in an apartment. I had a tree, but we didn't have enough to make or to do decorations. So we decorated it with chopsticks and to-go boxes, the little white ones. And then for some reason, we had hanging around latex gloves and stuffed them with cotton or something like that. So and then sprayed glitter on them. So it's like, I don't know what we were thinking, but there were funny glittery gloves and to-go boxes with chopsticks on them. And that was our tree that year.
That was a cool tree.
It sounds like a cool tree. Well, my grandmother's birthday is Christmas Day, or was Christmas Day, and my grandmother passed when I was about 45 years old, so I never spent a Christmas without my grandmother. And I've talked about individual stories, but overall, the memory of that significant sort of celebration. She told us maybe when I was about 12 or 13. She probably told me before that, but at that age, I was old enough to comprehend what she was saying. She never had a birthday that was separate from Christmas. She would get one gift, and her siblings would get two because their birthday wasn't on Christmas. And all of the grandchildren sort of band together and decided that, that wasn't ever going to happen again. Nana was going to be treated special. And so wherever Nana went for dinner, sometimes we were all together, but it's a pretty big family. And then sometimes we weren't. So wherever Nana was for dinner, we would all go there, and we would take down a few Christmas decorations and throw up birthday decorations, and we would start the party all over again. And when I say party, I'm not like exaggerating that. I'm telling you that the majority of my life, most often I left the Christmas dinner celebration on Boxing Day, which is the 26th, and usually around 3, 4, or 5 a.m. There were times when we would leave and it was total daylight outside, and I thought that was completely normal. I thought everybody did that. Like, I thought that's what Christmas was. So my significant memory is my grandmother's birthday, and just the amount of fun that we used to have celebrating that, because it was so awesome. It was so awesome. And I come to find out as I got older that wasn't everyone's normal, obviously, right?
Oh, cool. Yeah. How about you, Terry?
Oh, there are, again, like so many, but I think the ones that stick out for me, like when I was a child, I loved it that the whole family came over at Christmas. It just felt really special to have all your cousins and all, aunts and uncles and all the people you loved all together. But I remember my dad allowing us to sleep under the Christmas tree with it all lit up. And I don't know why that was so completely special, but I always let my kids sleep under the Christmas tree at least one night. And my granddaughters also have slept under the Christmas tree at night once in a while. They're too big to do it now, but for some reason, I just find that so magical.
I just think that's beautiful. I'm
That's
putting a
great.
blanket on my legs. Sorry.
Oh, can I tell one more? It's
Yeah,
not so
just
much a memory. It was in my family of origin, it wasn't so much the gift that you got, it was the reaction that it produced. So it was like, whatever. And I realized that that wasn't that was certainly wasn't the case in my husband's family, who kind of put it in order and then they'd open it up and say, well, that will do very nicely. Thank you. And I was like, no, we're going to have teach my son that you got to react. You have to, whatever it is, I don't care if you don't like it or not. So I did training for him, and we would practice for days before Christmas. And I'd wrap up things like a can of tuna fish, or or a rock. And I said, you have to open this and look surprised and happy, and find 3 things nice to say about it. Oh, it's a rock. It's so nice and smooth. And think about, feel how heavy it is. That's going to be a great paperweight. So he learned well, and he makes a great big reaction no matter what he gets. So that's important to me.
I'm so curious. What did he say about the tuna?
With tuna, I don't remember exactly about the tuna, but I do remember wrapping up black olives once, and he went on and on about, oh, those are so great. They look like a puppy dog's nose. And
I love that you said that. So Katie, thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate that. Just pop your question into the chat, and we will take it. Amanda says, I love that. Hope to do that one day. Sleep under the tree. I have a memory that, well, it wasn't my finest hour, friends. I mean, not by a long shot was it my finest hour. I was about 9 or 10 years old, and I was very curious as to what my mom and dad were doing. Like near Christmas when the tree is up, and they kept shoving us off to bed, and it just like they were weird or about it. And I would sneak down the stairs, and so I seen, mom go into all these hiding spots, and she'd break out the paper and she'd wrap the present and stick it under the tree. And every morning we would come downstairs, and it would be like, wow, like it's growing, right? And I don't know what made me do it. But I decided to investigate one night, and I came downstairs and I opened all of the presents that had my name on them.
oh,
Wow.
Wow is right. One of the presents that I got was a bubblegum machine and the bubblegum refill. And in my infinite wisdom at that special age of 10, I decided that I should eat all those bubblegums, because who would ever know? Anyways, that's what I did. I every night, once I found the bubblegum, I would go down there and grab like a couple of gumballs and take them upstairs, and, for the next day or whatever the case may be. And so anyways, about a week in of me doing that, my mother came downstairs one night and caught me red-handed, and it was good because the bubblegum was pretty much empty at that point, and that would have been hard to explain to the family. How come, like, Mom, this is a bad package, there's nothing in it. Anyway, my mom sat me down, and she was very cool about it, and she reasoned with me, and she explained, and she talked to me, and basically told me that it was my responsibility to keep a smile on my face. We're not going to ruin Christmas for my sister. And I was like, oh, like the guilt. I was like, wow, like you're like a super mom. And when I think about it now, I was like, she didn't yell, she didn't freak out. She talked to me, but she exactly said all the right things to make me realize what I had done. And my mom went and refilled that bubblegum and wrapped it up and stuck it back underneath the tree. And we just went about it as if nothing ever happened. And I think probably for the next 15 years, it was like a joke between my mom and I that my sister would get presents under the tree, but my presents would never show up until Christmas morning. So it was like a little joke, and my mom would always wink at me. So that was just, wasn't my finest hour, friends. Anyway, Lisa says, I would help my mother make candy from December 1st till Christmas Eve. After she passed, I would host all the holidays, usually 25 to 50 people every year. Wow. Now, and then she says,
Wow.
now I'm alone. My son usually has to work. Amanda says, our tradition from my mom is we all took turns opening gifts so we could all see and enjoy it. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. In my husband's family, they do this thing called a wrap job. So you get, like a present like this big, and they stick it inside 9,000 boxes. And the first Christmas I ever spent there, like we all sat in the living room and everyone got handed either scissors or a knife. And I was like, okay, this is weird. Like, what's happening? Like, I'm not prepared for this kind of Christmas, right? And it was to open the one wrap job that everyone was promised. So that was just crazy to me. But anyway, I'm gonna. Okay, I've got Katie's question. All right, let's get started, ladies. We got some questions here. So
Okay.
let's go with, these are in no particular order, friends. Let's take Katie's question first. Okay, JR, I got you. Thank you, Gina, and hi, everybody in the chat. Thank you for being here. So Katie says, my question, Jordan and I broke up. Does he miss me at all, or is he all moved on and happy?
It's really hard to read. We're reading Katie's energy, not Jordan's energy, but I'll give it a shot to see what I could possibly learn from that.
Yeah, it's normally difficult to read on like how someone else is feeling. So
Right.
I'll see if I can like sort of see where the relationship may go.
Yeah, you may actually do much better on that.
Well, I might do better if my cards weren't all mixed up. It's a good thing I looked, friends. That could have been a really interesting reading. Hi, JR. Hi, Gina. Thank you for posting the links, Gina. Appreciate you. Hi, Cardamancy. Hi, Lise. Hi, Charlie. Nice to see everybody in the chat. Appreciate you all being here.
What I saw when I tuned in was a heart with a crack through it, and the crack was black, and it wasn't going straight down. It was going kind of sideways like this, and then there were like stitches sewing it up. So
Yeah.
I'm getting the idea that he was. And then I asked the pendulum, has he healed and moved on? And it was no, not entirely. And then I asked, is there a chance for a future here? And it said it was pretty much not at this time. Like he's not over it, but he's not ready to come back and try again right at this moment. But that's just what I got.
I don't know how I did that, but yeah. Sorry, my cards went right side up, upside down, and all over the place.
Uh-oh. Well,
go ahead, Jerry.
Really interesting. So on my stage, they're actually showing me nothing about Jordan at all. They're just showing me you and your heart, and they know that your heart is hurt. They're showing me this kind of long, very Christmassy path. Like they just want to surround you with love to help you heal your heart. They're just showing me in fact, my stage almost looks like Santa's belt. I have a red on top and on the bottom, a white belt, the black little thing, and there's just this long bunch of it. Like we just want the holidays to last a long time for her. We want that lovely, lovely family feel to be in your heart, to be there for you.
Literally have the family card.
Oh, yeah. They're just saying that they love you, they care for you, and they're just way more concerned about your heart than Jordan's heart right now.
Wow. One of my favorite things in the whole wide world is when I read with the mediums and we're in sync. And so, Joan, I'm going to say to you, not that anyone knows what we're talking about, but you called it earlier, what you said. Backstage, I mean.
Okay.
We start out with the world, Katie. So the world, this is the past energy, the not too distant past. So the world is completion, right? It is the end of the major arcana in tarot. So the journey has been completed. So when Joan was saying that, like not in the near future, like the getting back, and that's why I was nodding my head, because I pulled that card. So it is a completion, right? Now, next to that, we've got the transformation in this deck. In the traditional tarot, it is the Tower card. This is a crack in your foundation, you know, sort of like the rug being pulled out from underneath you. And that is really the story of you and him, right? So he's done. And when I say done, I don't mean done with feelings. I just mean done with, like, had to walk away, right? You feel like the rug has been pulled out from underneath you. We've got the 10 of water. Now, this is in your challenge position. Like, my ears are on fire, by the way. I am so hot right now. So the 10 of water, the 10 of cups, this is the happy home card. This happy home card represents family. It represents love and blessings. And I feel two things about this. One, you have family that want to surround you with and with love and support you. But I also feel like the challenge is for you to be embracing, you know, your sort of unit without that person. Like, what do I do now? Kind of vibe, right? The outcome position has the 2 of earth. This is about balance, right? This is like finding that fine sort of line and trying to walk it, putting one foot in front of the other, and, you know, sort of getting your equilibrium back, putting your life back together, putting yourself back together, sort of bringing things back into a way that you can navigate without feeling like, oh my God, my life is over and I want to run out in the middle of traffic, right? On the bottom of the deck, which is lovely, this is the overlying energy of the reading. And I know that you don't feel this way, or you wouldn't have asked the question, but this is the Sun card. This is the Yes card in tarot. This is joy. This is happiness. This is blessings. It's enthusiasm, motivation, wholeness. Through this holiday period, as Terry said, you are going to be surrounded with so much love. You are going to be boosted by the joy that surrounds you, and the vibration that you have is low. That support and that love is going to lift that up, and I think that you're going to start to see things from a different perspective. And this is so interesting because I pulled 2 oracle cards. The first one I got is enter the temple of your truth. The message is, and learn to value it. So you're going to have a lot of time to reflect, a lot of time to think, a lot of time to observe other people's happiness, what you deem happy, and you're going to have a lot of conversations and a lot of support. And I honestly think that you're going to start to see things that you may not be happy about this, but this was this needed to happen. Okay. And the last card that I got is loyal friend. Someone has your back.
Oh,
So I would like to think that that's spirit, or perhaps you have a best friend or a support person that's got your back and is going to show themselves to you over the next couple of days, letting you know that if you need a shoulder, they're there for you. The best advice that I can give you from that reading is to try to do things to sort out how you feel, and then hopefully that will help to restore your balance, if that makes sense. That's what I got. I thank you for asking the question, and I'm sorry that happened to you. Of course, we wish you the best.
Yeah.
As you move forward.
Always hard around the holidays for something like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Lizzie T says, please ask my guides what the message about Akashic Records meant. Thank you. Hi, Pooja. It's good to see you. Hi, Thomas. Look at all you guys being so awesome to Katie. Showing her some love in the chat. I love it. I'm scrolling up to make sure that I didn't miss any questions, and I did, so I've just got that. Gina, I've got your question there, love. By the way, Thomas, last week when I gave away a free reading, you were the name that I chose for the free reading. So send me an email if you're interested in redeeming that free 30-minute reading. And congratulations.
I wish this was more specific, but what I got, I'm seeing hearts right away. This one, it was a heart with gold, it looked like script that I couldn't read on it. And what I heard was, it's written in your heart. You know this, you know what it means. It's written in your heart, and in your soul. And it made me aware of my solar plexus. That's kind of where sometimes you get the gut feeling. That's where the knowing from your higher self, your oversoul, sometimes expresses. So it's kind of being cryptic and saying, and pointing you back to yourself to tune in and ask spirit, ask your higher self to let you know what the meaning of this is. But it does, especially when it's talking about the oversoul, your higher self, it does seem like it relates to past lives, and that it's referencing lessons that you've learned before. Is that right, Spirit? And they just keep saying, you know. And I know on a conscious level you're saying, no, I don't. I need to know. But it may be a practice that they want you to get in touch with that more subtle inner knowing, and they're kind of asking you to see if you can access that. Mm-hmm. I hope that's helpful.
I have to agree with that, Joan, because I'm kind of taken to where I go read the Akashic Records, which is a very, very calm little cottage. It's not fancy at all. It's like a little English cottage with timbers and everything. It's really cute. And they're reminding me, though, that you don't have to go. She does not have to go anywhere special. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be that you pay anybody. The Akashic Records are actually within each of us, within our DNA, within our etheric body. They're that close. They're that close to us. They're like a little second skin. And so again, just like Joan, they aren't telling me what they showed you or what they meant. They're just saying they want you to go back and ask again. So I'm just kind of seeing like that you should find a quiet space, maybe even lay down and meditate and just let your imagination take you wherever they're going to take you to talk about this again. But
it's so interesting that you said that. I have a deck of past life oracle cards here, and I thought, well, let's pull a card from there and let's see what we get. And I don't normally show you my oracle cards before my tarot cards, but just I got vows.
Wow.
So to me, this is about your inner wisdom. This is about your intuition. This is about your connection, asking you to sort of not question it, right? Asking you to trust in it, to believe in it, to tap into that intuition, that inner wisdom that we all have, and to allow that to continue to grow, as opposed to, am I on the right path? Am I on the right journey? Should I do this? Should I do that? The most important thing, and this is just my personal opinion, when it comes to figuring out your gifts or your spirituality or how to increase your connection, is to trust it and just go with it. Like, let it guide you. Do you know what I mean? Now I hope that I can make this make sense. So that's what I got. I've got the moon card. This is all about intuition. This is all about revelations and seeing things for how they really are, right? Because the moon card will show us things that we didn't know were there. It's going to highlight a path so we can follow it, but we got to, like, it's like literally one foot in front of the other, because it's, you know, it's dark, it's nighttime. And then the other part of, or the other aspect of that card is showing you things that you thought were there and they actually aren't. So it's disillusion and illusion, right? So this is about using your intuition and allowing that to be your guide. That's what that card is for. You've got the Two of Fire. This is about planning. This is about expansion and vision, right? It's about making progress. But again, it's like one foot in front of the other. You're on a path. You're on a journey. You're going somewhere. The last card that I got is the Renewal or the Judgment card. This is about self-evaluation and rebirth. This is about reflection. So all of those things talk about going within and trying to connect to that whole thing, right? That whole connection, that whole intuition, that whole inner wisdom, that whole vibe. And when you do that, we have the Three of Water, the Three of Cups. This is celebration. This is community and collaborations and working together, right? With your soul tribe. You know, this is what we are. We are your soul tribe. We're your people, if you understand what I mean, because we're like-minded. The last card that oracle card that I pulled is this lovely little deck that I have, which most people can't make head nor tail out of. So we've got the word nurture on the bottom, okay? And this is a Eastern cottontail bunny that's pictured on here. And the message on the top says, what role is mothering energy playing in my life? So nurture your spiritual connection, right? What does that mean? It means embrace it. Don't fight it. Trust it. Just allow it to be your guide. That's what Beautiful. I got for you. So I hope that helps.
I love how the first two questions kind of dovetail with each other about, you know, kind of going into seeing that your own inner knowing and realizing it's a broader thing about, you know, I learned my lessons with ease and comfort, and I see the bigger plan in all of this. And
it's interesting that you say that, because that's what the winter solstice is all about. The winter solstice being the longest day of the year in the northern hemisphere. This is the time when most people curl up, right? You have lots more time to be quiet and to get quiet and to go within. This is a great time to sort of, clean out your internal sock drawer, shall we call it, right? Where you're matching things up and throwing things out that you don't want or are out of fashion or whatever the case may be. This is that time. This is what it is meant to do. So use that time to get inside yourself. Amanda says to our Christmas stories, to be honest, my mom always made Christmas and all holidays special. I always feel I haven't lived up to that, haven't given as much. Crazy, I know, at 59, have almost shaken that off. I think that many of us whose parents have passed feel, especially if you're the oldest, feel some sense of responsibility or duty to carry on the family traditions or whatever. But there's something really magical about taking something that was and sort of creating new. You know what I mean? Like, to be able to like make your own traditions. And the reason why I say it's magical is because you're doing the same thing and you're, creating new memories. And but the pressure to get it right doesn't seem to be as much as if you were trying to, like, I don't know about you guys, but like I'm following my mom's recipe, which was my grandmother's recipe, which was her mother's recipe. And if I mess it up, I mean, I would be horrified. You know, I'd probably beat myself up all day because I couldn't do it. You know, I'm a failure. You know, 4 generations have done it and I screwed it up. Like I would do that to myself. I'd put so much pressure on myself. So I try to take what they did and I sort of change it a little bit so it doesn't feel like it's so much pressure for me. And then I feel like I've succeeded. I just thought I'd throw that in there. Oh, she is? Oh, that's good. I love that. All right, let's move on to our next question. So that was Lizzie. We have Miss Pierrette White in the house. Does my father-in-law Earl have any message for me? We've never met. Interesting. God, these cards are really loud. Sorry, ladies. I'm like shuffling really loud.
So, can I go, Joan, or
Please.
okay. So, on my stage, I have these bleachers people sit on, and I found him in the bleachers, sitting on the bleachers, which people don't, for some reason, souls don't do that very much anymore on my stage. They just come. And he is there, and he's happy that he's being called upon, and he's came down to the stage, and he looks like a shorter version of Ed Sullivan. I don't know if anybody's actually in the chat old enough to know what Ed Sullivan looked like, but he's just a little shorter, a little chubbier. But he's there. He's a nice guy, and he says that he's happy to be on your spirit team. He loves watching what you're doing. He says life makes so much more sense now watching you. So he's like remembering that when he was in body, that life was hard. It was hard to figure out what to do, what was right, what was wrong. You know, as a man, he had to make, money for his family and things like that. You know, it was all such a question, just always so in the air. And he says it's so refreshing to watch you and to watch his son, to see that life can be a little easier, that you are able to tap into different knowings and make your life go a tiny bit easier. He's just thrilled that you called on him. He's just, he's looking at me like he just kind of like just wants to bust his buttons kind of or something. But anyway, thank you, Earl.
That's wonderful. And it coincides with what I was getting too. Right away, he said he's just so proud of you, and sort of odd that you have this awareness while you're still in the body. So it's just as Terry was saying. Mm-hmm. And he said, I just didn't have a glimmer. And what does this say? And then he pulled out, that's why I thought, okay. He said, I just didn't have a glimmer of what the big picture was really all about. And as you were saying, it made it harder on Earth. And then he pulled out like a cardboard star on a stick with streamers and glitter on it. And he was waving that around and said, believing makes it real. So, because I kept saying, he looked like more of a serious kind of guy. And here he is with this little star on a stick that you'd expect a, you know, a kid to have. But he's just kind of thrilled that you understand as much as you do about how things really work when you're still in the body, and that continue to believe it. And the more you believe, the more real it becomes. So nothing but good wishes and love from him.
I started with from the past life oracle, food and hunger. And then I pulled a bunch of other oracle cards. So I get it's complicated, so working through something. And the reason why I think that I got that food and hunger is because either you're not able to sort of navigate all the challenges, right? Like putting yourself last, right? You're not able to tick all the boxes off in a day because you're doing so many things. But you're trying. And I feel like he's being very encouraging, like Joan said, like there's a lot of love, right? So these are the rest of the cards that I've got. We've got tasting success, which those are just adorable with all the hearts on them. Your hard work is being rewarded. Okay. Then we've got divine guidance with, I mean, how cute is that? Look at the lovely little angel with her flame there, her candle. Just beautiful. And this is look for signs from spirit. We have you cast a spell with your existence. Magic flows brightly and radiantly within you. And then we have thank your lucky stars. As you begin to count your blessings, more and more blessings will come. And so I think that his message is very encouraging and encouraging you to continue to try to navigate, but not to forget yourself. Don't put yourself last. Make sure that you count yourself in the day-to-day things that you do. And I know that you know what I mean, Pierrette. So like without giving your whole business away on YouTube, I know you know what I mean. So that's the message from your father-in-law, which I think is lovely for you. Hi, everyone that's popped into the chat. I apologize. I'm not saying hi. We have Miss Miriam up next. And she says, does my wonderful Uncle Paul, he was my favorite, have a message for me? Good stuff, Rose. Glad to hear it, my friend. No, I still got you, JR. I would never skip you, JR. Not intentionally anyways, my love.
So it's kind of funny. I see my Uncle Paul on the stage with your Uncle Paul. My Uncle Paul was my favorite as well. So your Uncle Paul that I see is a little shorter than my Uncle Paul, but I perceive without him really doing anything that he had a good sense of humor. He did not do humor in such a way that it hurt others. It generally, in other words, it was never at somebody else's expense. It was just fun. It was just nice. He seems to be a really, solid guy. Um, Uncle Paul. Joan, if you have something, you can go. I'm still kind of waiting on the message.
Sure. Right away, I saw a man who looked like he was maybe this was like in the late 50s, early 60s or something. And he had his hands on a big steering wheel. And the idea was to take the wheel and take control. And he was wearing what looked like, well, he was in a uniform of some sort. So I'm not sure if he was a bus driver or it looked like the kind of cap that a cop, a police officer would have, and the blue shirt and the dark tie. But he was driving, and in a way that it looked like whatever he was driving, it was like this far from being out of control. But he said, "You've got this. Take the wheel. You can drive it. You can do this." And it's exciting in that sometimes life does feel like it's almost you're going to veer off the edge or something, that it can seem out of control, but you know how to do this. So he's just being very encouraging. And even maybe it was, I was seeing it as like in the 50s or 60s, as things weren't, there weren't all the little buzzers and things and warnings to keep you on the road and everything. You had to really know how to drive yourself. But he said, it's exciting because things can go off in all directions, but you trust yourself. You know how to do this. So he's just been very encouraging to you.
Right. It's so interesting because I also saw him kind of in a uniform, not like just the uniform of his trade kind of, but he's also, so one thing that he gave me as a message is community service. This seemed to be important to him back then, community service. And it could be that I'm reading my Uncle Paul, who took community service to a extreme, but he's reminding you to spread that love around through community service, through helping others, whatever you have. But he's saying that is like the salt and pepper of the season. I wanted to say glitter, but then he kind of shoved in salt and pepper, and I'm like, okay, there we go.
Miriam, I had to, so I pulled one of my oracle cards here, and I literally had to get the book out because I was like, okay, I want to make sure that what I'm getting from this card is accurate. So I'm going to read what it says. Okay, so this card is card number 1, and it's fledging. Dear one, which is interesting because you say that all the time, dear one, just as I just happen to know that she says that often to me. Dear one, when you receive the symbol of the fledging, know that you are blessed with a time of learning new things. This is a time for you to remember that you cannot know things until you experience them. Being in this evolving state means you may stumble a bit. Don't expect yourself to be perfect. Now is the time for being gentle with yourself as you step into your destiny to become the beautiful person you are meant to be. When the fledging appears to you, it is a sign of new growth and wonderful new opportunities. Step forward with curiosity and a willingness to learn and to discover. Which, I mean, who doesn't want that card showing up? That's beautiful. Okay, speaking about courage, we have courage. Awaken the warrior of light within you. I pulled from the Past Life Oracle and I got Egypt. So I'm not sure if you have felt lately like you're literally climbing a mountain, and Joan sort of alluded to that, and I was nodding my head going, yep, I get that too. So I feel like either you've been feeling like you're trying to climb a mountain, or like you're never going to reach the end of something, or you're struggling, like it feels like a really, 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 really intense challenge. You've got Starry Night. So when you guys said about or what Terry, you said the salt and pepper, like the diamonds, and I was like, oh, I got that too. And then you said salt and pepper. I was like, no, that's not salt and pepper. It looks like snow to me. But anyway, beaming and glistening light from the stars reminds you that there is hope for your future. So this reading is very encouraging. It's about hope. It's about having courage and sort of reminding yourself that you are who you are, stand in your truth, stand in your power, and continue to move forward. The last card that I've got is Berries, which is a sweet surprise. Oh. And I'm not sure, but those look a little bit like holly berries to me.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you're going to have a little surprise at Christmas. Maybe a Christmas miracle is headed its way. Wouldn't that be amazing? So that's what I got for you, Miriam. I hope that helps, my dear. And I thank you kindly for asking the question.
If any of that makes sense, Miriam.
Yeah, let us know. All right, so JR is up next. Can I get a reading from my grandma? I've been struggling for a few years. I need her help and advice. JR, can you give us your grandma's first name, please? That always helps. Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate that. Yeah, I went out. I don't know who's seen it and who didn't. So Dolores is grandma's name.
Dolores.
Most people know that I don't leave my house. I haven't been in a store, since 2019 when I moved here. And I actually went into a store last weekend and did a live and recorded it. So
that was wonderful.
That's what Thomas was saying. Miriam says, yes, her Uncle Paul did have a wonderful sense of humor. And yes, Joan, they were always traveling. That's the driving, she thinks.
Okay.
And then she said, Kelly, I love that first card, and the sweet surprise is pretty wonderful too. You're welcome, Miriam. I'm glad it resonates, my friend.
We are on my stage. They have a wilderness that is so rocky. I'm seeing you climb almost hands and knees over these rocks, and you're tired and you're going, whew, and you just keep going. And your grandmother Dolores says you still have to keep going. There's still, she's not saying that your path is going to necessarily smooth out a lot right now, but she is showing me that there's shade up ahead, that there are little on this path that you're on, that you're really going, there are tiny little gifts. There's this gift of shade. There's going to be a gift of cool water there. She's calling my attention to some of the blocks and the stones in your way, and seeing that there's a little teeny jewel, a little teeny gem that's kind of wedged between the rocks, but you're not seeing it because you're too tired. So she's saying, slow down, take a little bit more time, find the little things to appreciate, the little gems, the little jewels, the little bits of grace that God is going to put in your way. And just know that pretty soon there's going to be a little shade, a little ease that will help you on the second part of your journey. She's such a nice lady. She cares so much about you. Yeah.
I love the cards that I got. for you, JR, because it basically was sort of, again, sort of saying what Terry had just said there. And that's just really cool when that happens, I think. I've got lessons and blessings. So I'm not sure if you have, I'm not sure that something has not occurred that you are having difficulty getting through, getting past, getting over, you know what I mean? Like embracing the lesson in it. And I feel like that's her message. Like, hang in there kind of idea. You know, you're going to have to do the work to fully understand this, to be able to get past it and release it from yourself. I'll show you the rest of the cards that I got. So the next one is obedience. And there's something about the way that she's standing in this card, right? Standing proud. She's got one hand up, holding on to the scales, and the other one with the sword across her. This is very much like the Justice card to me, right? Well, what is the Justice card about? It's about karma. It's about fairness. It's about restoring the equilibrium. It's about truth and the search for the truth. So that's you standing in your truth. The truth is the lesson, right? But sometimes when we are trying to work through something, we have a set of circumstances, situations, outcomes, whatever it may be in our mind. And like, that's what we want to hear. And if that's not what we're hearing, we don't accept other things, right? That means that you need to go back and like go within and like try to like do it again, try to work through it again, right? If that makes sense. We've got the next card here is the Deer Mouse, and you've got would a little more tenderness help, and you've got Nest. This is very much like the Four of Swords card to me. This is the moment where you have to sort of allow yourself to heal. You have to take care of yourself. You have to nurture yourself. You have to give yourself some time, some self-reflection, some self-care to be able to heal whatever the situation was, right? And I've said this many times, and I mean, because it affects me personally, right? With the journey that I've been on, it took me 40 years to get, in this state. It's not going to be done in 5 minutes. It is a constant and consistent effort. And every time, just when you think that you've got it licked, boom, something else happens. And you're like, oh gosh, I guess I got to get back to work. Right. The next card that I've got is live in this world as a dreamer. Create a future paradise. So in other words, if you continue to do the work, if you stay on course and learn the lessons and the blessings that are in those lessons, that you can create the future that you want. And the last card that I got was the Wheel, moving forward. That's Grandma's lesson or message for you, is to keep moving forward, keep at it, don't lose faith, trust in the journey. And try to learn the lessons that you're sort of finding along the path. That's what I got for you.
That's beautiful. Awesome. The lessons and the blessings are the karma and the dharma.
Yes.
To go through stuff and then you get the reward. I wish I could read my writing better. So the first thing I saw, again, everything I'm seeing, it seems, is like hearts. But the first thing I experienced was my third eye lit up. And that, so it's talking about your vision, what you want, what's out there for you, what you can envision. And then the heart chakra lit up. And when you so the message seemed to be, yes, you have this vision of what you want, and yeah, you have to put some effort into it, but unless you can put your heart into it, and not heart in like put your heart into it and push harder. It's more put your heart into it and allow and accept and love yourself into whatever this thing is. When you combine the vision with the love energy, the heart chakra energy, that's one of the ways you can really manifest. So that really coincides with what Kelly was saying too. So it's like, see what you want and put your heart into it, but the love part, not the effort part. And then I saw the heart like it was a cartoon heart, kind of from the side, and it had wings on it. It was like really moving forward quickly. So I think as you kind of find that balance of, you can't just sit and wait for something to happen, but if you kind of change your attitude about whatever it is, this journey that you're on, and put some of the positive love feeling, the heart feeling behind it, all of a sudden, things will start to take off. And then, because I'm Joan and I get weird images, that this one I don't really know what it means, but it might mean something to you, so I'm going to say it. Then I saw on top of the heart with the wings going forward really fast, there was this guy who looked a little bit like Yosemite Sam and had a big cowboy hat and a big white mustache. So I don't know if this has something to do with the West or Southwest or something, but there was some sort of reference to that might, I don't know what the reference is, but maybe you do. So, or it might have just been random, but I'll put it out there and see what you can make of it. Thank you very much for the opportunity to touch base with your grandmother, Dolores.
Yeah.
Maybe he's gonna say that she lived in Texas or something.
I
Maybe
don't know.
that would be fabulous. All right, so Lise is up next. Are you ladies okay if we go over, because we're going to go over, but that's my fault because I selected too many questions. Are you guys okay to stay for a little bit longer?
Sure.
I'm okay.
All right, so thank you. Appreciate that. Lisa's up next, says, hi, does my great-grandfather, is it Heinrich Meyer, have anything to tell me? Does my great-grandfather have anything to tell me?
Heinrich Meyer.
Oh, you're welcome, JR. JR is thanking us for the reading. I do want to let everyone know that I anticipated that there would be several questions on this in this particular topic. I will be back on Friday night, I think at 7. Just check your little notification thing there, with Lady Soul doing the same as we're doing here this evening. In case you can't get your question answered tonight, perhaps you're able to come back, or if it's in my community tab, you could always post your question there. Just saying. And again, thank you everybody for being here. Make sure you hit the thumbs up and don't forget to go and subscribe to Joan and Terry if you're not already. Show my friends some love. Interesting.
I'll jump in if it's okay. I was having a little bit of a tough time getting through. And at first I saw him kind of like you'd see a picture of somebody from his era, just like a black and white portrait, full length, just sort of standing there very stiff. And I got the feeling that as was normal for a person in his position in those days, there were lots of rules to follow. There weren't as many freedoms socially or otherwise. There were just lots of rules, whether it was religion or social rules or whatever. things were just kind of cut and dried. This is the way you do it, and don't ask questions. And then so I was just feeling that for quite a bit. So I think that he may have felt constrained. Either he felt constrained, or he sees now from his vantage point now that he was, buying into all of that. And then everything loosened up, and I'm seeing hearts on just about everybody. It was a balloon shaped heart with a long string that was just kind of loose. And it was just saying, get loose. Just, you can be loose. You don't just let go of the string, let go of the feelings of anything that's like tying you down, and the strictures and the have tos, and I really should, and just go with the flow and float. And that, because he said he sort of regrets buying into all of that, even though in his time there was no question about it. This is just what you do. So he's encouraging you not to buy into all the have tos and shoulds and all of that, and just let go of the balloon and see where it goes. Have your heart on a string and just follow your heart.
Wow.
I basically got the same thing. I mean, I loved it when you were like, very stiff, and that's why I held up the card. I got knighthood.
Oh yeah, here he is in this tin suit.
Right. In his suit of armor, sort of protecting himself. And then I threw some tarot cards down, and I got the justice card on the bottom of the deck. And so, I mean, they're both standing there holding their swords, right? I just thought that was super interesting. Wanted to interject. Yeah. Go ahead, Terry.
Yeah. Well, I too got a very stiff, upright man, a very, a man who was kind of important, but he definitely had this aura about him where he was very much in charge. And yet, the first thing he showed me was the little white flowers, Edelweiss.
Edelweiss.
Yeah, he's showing me those flowers, and he's making them as big as what I can see, and he's saying that these white flowers represent you to him, like you were his little jewel, his little flowers, his reward for doing the right thing practically. I mean, he just feels like you were just little, that you even now are like these white flowers, that you just feel so good to him, feel like you are like little jewels, I can't, it just, you feel very special to him, and that he supports you, and just I'm sure there's deeper meaning about this Edelweiss flower, and I don't know what it is, so I hope you look it up, but it somehow this means a lot to him to show you those flowers.
I still love that.
That's beautiful.
It is beautiful. So I want to say real quick that I don't know if you knew your great-grandfather, but I feel very much from what I've got here that your grandfather or your great-grandfather, sorry, is saying that he was a very, as Joan said, like a proper person, right? He was very stiff. Men in those days weren't allowed to express emotion or to show emotion, and if they did, they probably did it in secret. So either he had to wear a suit of armor to protect himself and sort of keep that hidden from the rest of the world so that he could be like everyone else and maybe not be teased or ridiculed because of it. And then it's like something shifted in his life that then caused a celebration. because we start out with the Four of Wands, right? The Four of Wands is celebration, it's family, it's your community. So either, maybe he started a family and that's when he started to understand. Maybe that's when he started to open up and allowed himself. Lisa, the flowers are close to my name. Look, Niedermeyer. That's interesting. So the next card that I've got is the High Priestess, right? This is tapping into your inner wisdom and your intuition. It is a card of patience and asking you to be patient, right? To not want to push the envelope too fast and too far, to allow yourself to just enjoy every moment. And I feel like this story is of your great grandfather, but passing it to you. So I don't know if you follow in your great grandfather's footsteps in terms of your disposition, or maybe the way that, maybe you were a little bit closed off, and he's asking you to be a little more open, to be a little more patient, to be a little more, a little more expressive, I want to say. The last card that we've got here is the Empress, right? Well, the Empress is all about nurturing. And again, there's a shield there of the heart. It's very interesting, this reading. The Empress takes action and expresses herself in a loving, take charge kind of way, if that makes sense. And then, of course, as I said, I've got the Justice card on the bottom of the deck, and that is standing in your truth, right? That is, sort of bringing those scales back into balance again. And the last thing that I got here was Garlic, which is strong potential. And so I feel like your great grandfather's message is to allow yourself to express. Don't close yourself in, and just sort of feel your way through things. I don't know. I'm not saying it right. I hope you know what I mean, Lisa. Does it make sense what I'm saying? Not really. I hope you get what I'm saying. I'm all over the place. What I'm trying to say is don't be guarded. Allow yourself to express yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't hide behind the shield. So I hope that resonates. Hope that makes sense. Next up is Gina. And Gina says, does my mom Marie have a Christmas message? Missing her and family. By the way, where is my dad now living? Okay. Thank you, Lise. Well, you never know, Gina. Somebody might get something on part 2 or part 1. What's your dad's first name, by the way, if you don't mind?
Her dad is alive, right?
Yep. I'm assuming. Ron.
Oh my goodness. I'm getting pulled in too many directions. So if you have something, go ahead, because I'm like, where am I supposed to go first?
Yeah, I'm kind of discombobulated here too.
So first I'll just talk about Marie. Marie is here. She is over there baking and preparing for the holidays, getting all excited, just like, of course I'm over here helping. I'm making things easier for you. I'm making sure that everybody gets the nourishment that they need. Nourishment, that's an interesting word. She's Marie is so heartfelt felt like she loves you, putting that love over there towards you. It's just like she's like a big old, she's kind of like wearing almost, she almost looks like Mrs. Claus a little bit, kind of. Not really, but she's dressed holiday style, and she's cooking, and it's like she's a big heart, just poof, 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 all this love at you. And she's just, of course, we're so excited for the holidays for you. She just wants all your wishes to come true. She just, she's showing me a spiral in a heart. I know we're all hearts today, Joan, here, but there's somehow a spiral in a heart, like she's going to put a memory into your heart that's going to be, like a little piece of treasure for you to remember during the holidays. Probably around Christmas you'll get this message, but it just feels this nice, lovely maroony red, just kind of spiraling into your heart. Your dad, on the other hand, he keeps pulling me down to California and the coast. I'm not getting anything more than that, but just it feels like he's somewhere a little warmer on the coast. It feels like California more than down in Mexico.
Gina says, yes, Dad is alive. Mom passed 3 years ago in September. My dad, Ron, has moved from the family home, but due to family estrangement, I just found out grief, ladies. Does that make sense? And then she says, I have been remembering a lot of holiday memories lately, Terry.
Are you done, Terry?
I'm done, yeah.
Okay. I was having a hard time tuning in on this one, but when I was first tuning in to your mom, I saw a star and then heard When You Wish Upon a Star. And I got the message. I think the message she was wanting to say is you might be like being very, very practical and feeling like, well, I can't want that. I can't reach for that. That's just too much. You have to be practical and you have to kind of, that's never going to happen for me. But she's saying, go ahead and wish. What harm does it do? And encouraged you to just spend some time, like, kind of in the back of your mind or when you're vacuuming or whatever, to just kind of fantasize about both memories of fun times that you two spent together with you and your mom, and just enough where it's like, oh, that was so fun. And it kind of makes you, makes the chore of vacuuming, and also meaning the chore of living through this life sometimes, feel a little lighter. And then to go beyond memory to putting something out there for yourself. Wouldn't it be fun if I took a vacation to Hawaii? Or wouldn't it be fun if I was together with these friends and we, I don't know, went out to dinner together and did that? And just without like making it this is something I need to do, and I'm going to put it on a list and effort into it, and it's like a to-do list of something you have to do. Just kind of fantasize about that. Would be so fun. And the only purpose of this is to kind of raise your vibration and conjure up something that makes the vacuuming, or which is the metaphor for the life here, a little more pleasant, to lift you up, to lift your vibration. And who knows, maybe whatever it is that you're kind of, this little journey that you're going on, might come to pass, or something like it. So she's saying, find some ways to lift your vibration by living in your mind what you want, without putting the pressure on yourself to actually like, oh, I have to write a list and make this happen and all of that. Just to kind of lift things up in the moment. And I just tuned into Ron for 5 seconds, and all I heard was Ohio. I don't know if that's I didn't get any feeling with it or any visions with it. I just heard Ohio.
Gina. This is a super interesting reading because I feel like half of it is like how your mom was, and the rest of it is about how your mom like wants you to be, or how she wants you to remember that you used to be, or something along those lines. So I don't read my oracle cards first, but I want to show this one. So Joan touched on this, right? And I think that Terry touched on this as well. And we've got being yourself, show off the real you. Now, I'm not sure, but based on the little information that you gave us about, the situation about your dad leaving the home and, family drama and stuff, I don't know if you feel responsible, not for the trouble, but it's your responsibility to bring the family back together. If you are sitting up at night, racking your brain, thinking of ways where you could bring everybody back and sort of like angry at yourself because it's not working. I sort of feel like that's what your mom's message is to you, that she wants you to have fun and live your life. She's upset about the drama, but upset that the drama is affecting you, not upset about the drama in terms of like fix it or do something, right? If that makes sense. So here's the cards I got. So the Queen of Water, that's your mom, right? This is, I don't know if your mom was a water sign or not, but the Queen of Cups, she's about love. I mean, that's her jam. She is all about love. She is also very giving. She's very in tune, very connected. Like all moms got eyes in the back of their head. My mother had them. I don't know about you all, but my mom definitely had those. My mother was always right. And so I feel like that's your mom's energy, right? And now I feel like this is where your mom starts to tell you or wants to remind you of who she sees you as. She was a Scorpio, so she was a water sign. Awesome. So there you are. That's you, Gina. The Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords standing there in that beautiful gown, holding your sword, standing in your power with your feet firmly planted on the ground, analyzing the situation, taking it all in. You are brilliant. You are experienced. You are analytical. You're strategic, but you're kind of quiet. You kind of stand back and just sort of survey everything before you do something. And I think your mom is trying to remind you that that's who you are. Stand in that, because that works for you. That's going to serve you well, right? We've got the Knight of Fire, so the Knight of Wands. This is literally going after something. So you're confident and you're passionate and you're adventurous and you're like, boom, like look out, like a bull in a china shop, just boom, full steam ahead. And I think that your mom is encouraging you to sort of tap into that energy. I feel like right now, you feel like you've got some decision to make. You're trying to figure out, I don't know what to do. Should I, and I feel like this is about the family situation, right? And so this is opposite of the cards on the table. And I feel like that's what your mom's message is. Like, you get back to doing what you do best. And then you're not going to have this indecision sort of weighing over you, if that makes sense. And the other two cards that I got is Have Trust and Faith, which is about the Queen of Air and also the Queen of Cups, in terms of the being passionate and being strategic and analytical and coming from a place of love, right? And the last card I got was the Axe, which is a breakthrough. So in other words, to sum all that up, if you can sort of get out of that situation in your mind and put yourself in the present moment and do everything that you can do for yourself to make yourself the best version of you, that will only assist you in then being able to help that situation with the family, right? I hope that that makes sense. And I think that once you do that, like once you reconcile yourself with it, that this is not your fault, you had nothing to do with it, this happened, right? Because when someone passes, everybody has to deal with their feelings, right? And sometimes we're just dealing with our own feelings. We don't really have room for to take on understanding of other people's feelings. I think that's when you may feel a shift and you may have more of a breakthrough, like more of an understanding, and then things will be a little easier to navigate from that point forward. So that was what I got. That was a lot, but that's what I got. It's a lovely message from your mom. She says, yes, trying to decide what to do about my dad and family, and that makes sense. You know, I want to share a story, if you don't mind, Gina, and I'm not in any way saying that this is your situation. This is just my personal experience, but maybe it might help. When my parents first got separated, divorced, whatever you want to call it, that was before, you know, the days of, you know, going to visit daddy every 2 weeks or any of that nonsense. We didn't have those rules. My dad was gone for a year and a half, and we didn't know where he was. He never called us, and he never wrote to us, and he never talked to us. And I'm pretty sure even if he did, my mother would have told him to hit the road. And we thought, like, you know, you don't love us, you don't care about us. Because, of course, we were looking at it from our point of view. It was our feelings. That's what we were looking at it. And now, in hindsight, all these years later, you know, I know that there was a lot more to it than that. But in that moment, I was devastated. And I did all kinds of crazy things. Like one day I asked to borrow the car, and I said I had to go to the library or whatever the heck I said. I needed to do some shopping or whatever. And I drove to where my dad was living and started knocking on his neighbor's doors and asking for him. I mean, I was desperate. I wanted to find my dad. I wanted to make sure he was okay. And so no one asked me to do that. I sort of put that responsibility on my own shoulders, and it really messed with me because I felt like I couldn't tell anybody because I was doing something wrong. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if that helps or not, Gina, but that's kind of what I was trying to get to. And I don't know if I got there or not, but you know, sometimes situations just need to work themselves out. You can only do your part in that situation, right? You can't take all the responsibility on your shoulders. Oh, she says I get it. Okay, awesome. Okay, so an hour and a half in. Now we do have 2 more questions, but I did say that the questions were closed. If you ladies wouldn't mind, and I'm only gonna pull like one card. I'm not gonna, but we have, I want to take Tammy's because I think that Tammy would appreciate a message. Tammy says, the anniversary of my dad's first year of passing is on the 23rd. Does he have any messages for my mom or me? Tammy, if you're still here, can you give us your dad's first name, please? And we'll try to get this answered for you. That must be so difficult, having it be the first year and so close to the holidays. I don't know if Tammy's still here or not.
I'm just asking for Tammy's dad, and what I'm seeing is like a mountain with it's kind of a rocky mountain with a path encircling it up and going to a plateau up on the top of it, or a flat place up on the top. And just saying that there's still more of the journey, but this is the hardest part of the journey, and that the gist of what he's trying to say is that it gets easier, but it doesn't really mean it's not that it gets easier. You will become more accustomed to the loss. It's like if you've worn a ring on your finger for years and years and years, and you take it off, and it's like it just feels weird.
Yeah.
And you'll always know that that ring's not there anymore, but it doesn't feel as immediate. And he says, I'll always be in your heart. And you can look forward to, as your heart settles, you can look forward to a different kind of relationship with him. And and now we're back on the mountain, and he's showing me a literal milestone. Like, here's a big rock and it has mile 1 on it. So he's grateful to you and encouraging to you that you've gotten to this milestone, and is saying that, there'll always be the sense of loss, but it's going to be you can look forward to being more open and more available to a different kind of relationship that's going to develop from here on out. So something positive to look forward to as your heart heals.
I love that.
Yeah.
Nice job, Joan. Nice job.
It's so funny. I saw many similarities to what Joan saw. First of all, I saw him on the stage, and he's dressed all in white, and the robe he has on makes him look like a Christmas tree. I mean, he's very triangular, almost like he's part of that mountain that Joan talked about. But he's all in white, and he's so peaceful. He's so peaceful. And he is a tiny bit sorry that he died around the holidays. So this kind of marks your holiday always. You will never forget this. But this whiteness that he's surrounding himself with is something, though, that he feels like he's going to project into your life, into your heart, to make you feel peaceful, to help you accept this, but to know that he's there behind you like a mountain, that he's there in that, just this solid position to help you, to be part of you, to just help extend peace and love.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
See, now I think that mountain represents your strength, right? Reminding you to stand in your strength, reminding you that you are stronger than you think that you are. And also, like you guys were saying, this is going to literally feel like you're climbing a mountain. Getting through the grieving process, especially at the holidays, that would be really, really tough. It's interesting that both of you said about the white, because I got this card that literally, if you look at it, sort of looks like a face. Like you got two eyebrows and then a little bit of a smile, right? This is from the past life deck, and I've got Galactic. And the first thing that I thought of when I pulled this card was like, you literally feel like you're dreaming. And then I thought to myself, like, because this is so different than anything that you've experienced before, right? The pain is real, the grief is real, the things that have happened to the family since his passing, all of those things are real. And they're very raw and fragile. And so you almost feel like you're living in some other alternate reality at times. And then I thought to myself, I wonder if he comes to visit you in your dreams. And I don't know if you do this, Tammy, but you can ask Spirit. I've done it. for clarity or for a message, as long as it doesn't scare you, as long as, Spirit thinks that you can handle it. Ask them to be as clear as possible and send you a message in your dreams. And when you wake up, write down whatever you remember. And chances are, within a couple of days, you'll have like a whole little story there, which will probably be something that you've been dealing with or thinking about or trying to get help with. And so I encourage you to try that. I'd be so interested to know if he visits in your dreams, because I think that he is trying to visit you in your dreams. I just don't know if you're open to it or if you've got the message. He's telling you to we've got home and family, that there's lots of support around you. And I think that that's important for him to, for it's important to him that you understand, that the family understands that you're not alone, that you have each other, and that you're being supported, and that he's also supporting you, right? And the last card that I've got is a bold statement, which is speak about what you know. So in other words, either this is your spirituality and different things that I don't know if your family is spiritual, but if you have an understanding that you could share with the rest of your family that are also hurting about, lifting the vibration, for example, or meditation or grounding or centering or, things of that nature, that might be able to assist the other people in your family to be able to get through this in a way that they wouldn't otherwise know about. Or if this is encouraging you to communicate and speak your truth, and that's why we got this support card. Only that, but I'm kind of picking up both of those things there. So that's what I got. I hope that helps. Many blessings to you, Tammy.
Yeah.
I'm sure she'll watch this back on playback. I thank you ladies so much for spending all of the time. I'm sorry that this went so late, but I do appreciate you coming on such short notice, as I said, and I so appreciate you being here. This was fun. It was good. I thought we gave really, really good messages.
It was lovely. And thanks to everybody who showed up and asked your questions. It was
Absolutely.
a delight. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. And I hope some of the people who got messages that you also tell us a little bit later, like Gina M., I'm going to be so wondering where your dad is. But let us know, because it helps us kind of assess how we read that, what happened. But everybody, I just want to say happy holidays.
Yes.
This was such a nice thing to get to kind of be with your loved ones and give messages. And we're all about the holidays, and they're such a loving people.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And when I say fun, when you sit here and we're doing these readings, oftentimes it's a lot of pain, right? There's a lot of hurt, there's a lot of old wounds. And this felt different tonight. This felt up. This felt lovely. It felt encouraging and empowering. And I'm not saying that the other messages don't, but somehow it felt different. And I almost feel like, they're celebrating. They're getting ready. They're waiting for Santa Claus to show up too. And so they want to sort of give that message to us. They want to lift us up and allow us to enjoy the holidays. Believe in the magic of the season kind of idea. That's sort of what I'm getting, which I think is beautiful.
It's perfect for solstice night. The longest, darkest day of the year, but the flip side of that is tomorrow the day is going to be longer. And so, and just like, I think that's what the Edelweiss was about, Terry, because it's the first flowers in spring. It's the new hope. It's the going forward. It's the positive, his great granddaughter, his hope for the future, the blossom, all of that. And I think there is sort of a theme of all of that through our readings today. And I just wanted to circle back to Gina M. of, yeah, it's been a rough year, but think about the 1 month anniversary or the 1 week anniversary and give yourself credit for how far you've come. This is an incredible milestone at 1 year, but you've made a milestone every day of this past year of loss. And you're a different person now, and it's going to continue like that. You're going to have a different relationship, and soon you'll be able to, when you think about your dad, you'll be thinking about all the fun times rather than the heartache of the loss. And for everybody who's lost someone like that,
Yeah.
I hope you think of that this holiday season.
Yeah.
That was well put, Joan. Pooja, sorry. Yeah, because we've gone for 1 hour and 40 minutes, and normally we only do an hour. So, like I said, I said I would take it and see if we could fit it in, but unfortunately I wasn't able to. But I will be back on Friday. If you can join us on Friday, we will we'll be happy to get you in there. So thank you everyone for being here, and thank you Joan and Terry. I hope you ladies have a wonderful holiday. And I hope you come back and visit Dozen Cats soon in the new year. And to everybody who's watching, I hope that if you celebrate Christmas, that you have yourself a fantastic holiday. I will be back on Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern with Lady Soul doing these readings again. And then I will be here on Christmas Eve, on Christmas Day, and on Boxing Day at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, all 3 days. And I have invited some other readers. Last year we did it, and we had a lot of fun reading on a whole lot of crazy stuff. It's important to me that people know that there is a place that they can go where they are supported. Whether you are having a tough time, dinner ended early, or you don't celebrate. Just know that you don't have to be alone, that there is a place for you to go. It's really important to me that people feel that they have a place to kind of hang out, if you want to, of course. So with that being said, do you ladies have anything that's coming up that you want to let people know about?
Yeah. Joan and I are going to be together tomorrow at Allie Martin's Heart and Soul Connected. So you can ask a question there too.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yay. All right, friends. I think we will close it off because we were here for 1 hour and 42 minutes, and that was 42 minutes longer than we planned on. But I appreciate it very much. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us. We love you lots. We wish you many blessings and happy holidays. Mwah. Bye for now.